Whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that depends on involvement among young people throughout the community. Child maltreatment occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources and don't know how to cope. For the majority of child abuse cases stem from situations and conditions that are preventable in an engaged and supported community. Child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure each family member has the support they need to raise their children in a healthy environment. Child abuse and neglect not only directly harm children, but also increases the likelihood of criminal behavior, substance abuse, health problems such as heart disease and obesity, and risky behavior such as smoking. All citizens should become involved in supporting families in raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment. Effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created amongst social service agencies, schools, faith communities, and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Therefore, I, Sherman Guyton, Mayor of the City of Gadsden, on behalf of the Department of Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention, the Children's Trust Fund, and Prevent Child Abuse Alabama, hereby proclaim April 2019 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Gadsden, and ask all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live.
Can y'all get a picture?
Go ahead.
As always, it's an honor to be here from the Family Success Center. We're one of the ones that receive a Children's Trust Fund, and we're glad to be part of the community that works together. Our specific program that gets the Children's Trust Fund is called Safe and Successful. It's a school-based program that helps our schools meet the requirements of Aaron's Law. In 2015, the state passed Aaron's Law, which said that every child in a public school must get age-appropriate education about physical and sexual abuse, so that they know what constitutes abuse and what to do if it's happening to them or someone that they know. And so by the Children's Trust Fund giving us this money, we're able to send Dina Thacker into the school systems to help the teachers do that, because they already have so much other to do. So we're glad to be able to do that. During the last school year that ended last May, she saw more than 9,000 students in the 3 school systems here in Etowah County. As of the end of March, she had already seen more than 7,100 this year. And so we believe we're making a difference. Unfortunately, as we have more people report, I'm hoping it's not because there's more child abuse, but because more of them know what to do if it's happening to them. I feel like all the services that we have at Family Success help reduce child abuse and neglect, because if we strengthen families, families are the solid core to our community, then we have less child abuse and neglect. So I appreciate your support. The blue ribbons are yours to take and display in response to Child Abuse Prevention Month, and want you to know that we are partnering with the Gadsden Mall to do a scavenger hunt where they can find out facts and tidbits and earn a prize for doing that. And so by this Friday, that will be up at the mall, so stop by there and take a look at what we're trying to do to educate the public. Thank you. You'll get it.
Do you want to read it?
I can't read these big words like mayonnaise. Whereas preventing child abuse depends upon community-oriented programs and services that can involve the collaboration of professionals to prevent further victimization of children. Child physical and sexual abuse continues to occur when community members are unaware how to appropriately report child abuse and neglect. There is no facial, social, economic class that is immune to child abuse and sexual abuse. Child abuse not only directly harms children, but it also affects the entire family system. Free specialized services are provided to the community, including forensic interviews, counseling, forensic evaluations, information and materials and referrals, community awareness and education, as well as support and advocacy for the victims of child abuse. The James M. Berry Center for Children plays a critical role in the lives of children who are victims of physical abuse and or sexual abuse or witnesses to a violent crime. The James M. Berry Center for Children assist children in feeling comfortable by providing a safe home-like environment for them to provide information about their abuse. The James M. Berry Center of Children also works collaboratively with the law enforcement jurisdictions and Department of Human Resources and the District Attorney's Office to provide a multidisciplinary response to investigators and intervention of child physical and sexual abuse. Therefore, I, Sherman Guyton, Mayor of the City of Gadsden, on behalf of the Alabama Network of Children's Advocacy Centers, hereby proclaim April 8, 20 through 12, 2019, the James M. Berry Center for Children's Week, and call on all our citizens to community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses to increase participation in our efforts to protect children and support the intervention efforts provided by the James M. Berry Center for Children.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm Patricia Falcon. I'm the Executive Director for the James Berry Center for Children. I'm happy to introduce to you as well. I have Betty Wetzel over here, who is our therapist at the Berry Center and does an amazing job with our children, as well as our board member, Dr. Martha Lavender, the president of Gadsden State. So thank you for the opportunity to highlight child abuse prevention and intervention. It's an opportunity for us to share with you the work that we do at the Berry Center. We're one of about 35 children's advocacy centers across the state of Alabama, and they actually originated here in Alabama. And we're very grateful for that opportunity to have started Children's Advocacy Centers, CACs we call them, in the state of Alabama. This year marks a year for us where we've seen the largest increase, about 29% increase in the number of children that we serve. We do work comprehensively as a team with the District Attorney's Office and all of our law enforcement jurisdictions. Of course, certainly the police chief in the city of Gadsden, as Gadsden has the highest number of children that we provide interviews for, and you'll see that in our annual report that we've included for you at 37%. We've provided information for you as well to let you know that our mission is one that is so critical as we look to children, to serve children and to serve families. This year we have made a very strategic effort through the service of our board of directors in moving to a larger facility. Y'all probably all know that and have seen that on 4th Street as we moved into the United Way, the old United Way building. And so we're very grateful for that because it's given us an opportunity to really expand our services. We offer more therapy than we ever have before, and we also are able to provide group therapy. We've had groups for our boys, for our girls, for teens, and for our parents this last year, as well as training information. We're available to do forensic interviews that are very specialized, and that gives an opportunity for a child to come tell their history, their trauma, one time, hopefully. Certainly children make an outcry to someone. It may be someone in the school, and we're so grateful to Tammy and the work of Family Success Center, because those children, when they do make that outcry, then come into the Berry Center for a specialized forensic interview. We're there and available to provide trauma-focused counseling that's free to them when they have made a disclosure of abuse. I actually have 2 other staff members that are not here this morning because we did have an emergency situation that arose right before we were coming over here this morning, and a situation that actually occurred in the city of Gadsden. And so we want to make sure that we're there ultimately 24/7 to provide that specialized interview for a child. You will see in our information the number of children that we've served, but I can tell you that 1 out of every 10 children nationally, the statistic is 1 out of every 10 children will be sexually assaulted in some way before their 18th birthday. We have to do a good job. We've got to do a great job in making sure that children have a place to come to talk about the things that have happened to them, and someone that will believe them and someone that will work with them to help them through the process. Once we start that interview and offer them counseling, they're then able to continue to work with that family and that child throughout the court process until those cases go on to be prosecuted in court here. I do want to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about the Berry Center. We've included our information about our funding. We're certainly very grateful as we do receive some of the CDBG funds from the city of Gadsden, and we're grateful, I hope you know that, for that funding, and would invite you at any time to come and see the good work that we do at the Berry Center and how children are interviewed in a specialized way. All of the, if you're not familiar, all of those team members that I mentioned, our law enforcement, our DHR, investigation staff, the DA, we've worked with the FBI and Homeland Security, they all are in one room watching the interview in real time so that that child's not intimidated by the fact that they've got to tell their story to maybe 6 or 7 different people. They sit in one room, and across the hall is our interview room, and we use a 2-way camera system and record that interview on a DVD, and that DVD is used as part of evidence. Ultimately, that interview is just the beginning of the process, and certainly our Gadsden law enforcement officers then begin to work that case, and they're out there talking to all of the different folks that are involved, as well as the alleged offender. And then we will continue to follow that on through the process until it's prosecuted. So I do want to give you an opportunity, if you have any questions about the Berry Center and the work that we do. We also do specialized training. We're available to go to churches and talk with them about what they can do to protect their church. We do trainings for the YMCA, for the Boys and Girls Club, different agencies in town that daycares that offer services to children to make sure that they know that they are mandatory reporters. This year we're very excited to be continuing our efforts at Gadsden State to train their nurses and their nursing program so that they know signs and symptoms to look for related to child abuse, as well as DHR and Gadsden Regional Hospital and some other organizations. The other thing, I'm not sure if Mayor Guyton knows, but we've partnered up this year with the City of Gadsden Fire Department, and we're thrilled to be able to go and talk with them about child abuse, and as they're going into homes, and seeing all sorts of things, how do they make those reports, what kinds of things they might need to look for. So it's just an additional way of strengthening the City of Gadsden and the services that you offer as well through the fire department. So we're thrilled about that, and that'll be coming up in June. Does anybody have any?
Follow up with children that you see as far as if there's been any healing or?
We do. So we have 2 therapists, and they continue to work with that child and that family. Once a child's finished the process in therapy, developmentally over the course of time, they often will maybe even need to come back as a child develops and grows and different kinds of scenarios come up. Once a child's been to an advocacy center, they can return to that advocacy center for therapy, as well as we have children that have been interviewed at other CACs across the country, maybe have moved into the City of Gadsden, or even into the county, anywhere in the county. We serve all children in the county, but they've moved into our area and then need therapy, and they too can also come to the Berry Center for therapy. We coordinate investigations as well across the country sometimes. We've had numerous situations where that's occurred as well. And so yes, once they have been to the Berry Center, they can always return.
And then one last question.
Yes,
I know you talked about physical and sexual abuse, but child abuse can go deeper than physical and sexual abuse.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that it can also be mental.
Yes, absolutely. The other thing that we're seeing is the impact of exploitation for children, certainly the impact of pornography. You may know this already, but the pornography industry makes 4 times the amount of money that our 4 major sports leagues combined. And so we see that in the work that we do, that impact more violent crimes against children, and also the influence of pornography and seeing children, a lot of photos are taken and things like that. So certainly, that has had an impact nationwide. But you're absolutely right about emotional abuse and the impact that that has.